Lake Tahoe is a little more than 2 inches from reaching its full legal limit, and water is still flowing into it. And that's why officials are releasing so much water into the Truckee River. Paul Nelson shows us how the lake is changing and what's being done to control its levels.
There's no way these kids would be jumping off this dock last June when they probably would have landed on wet sand. But what a difference a year makes.
It's awesome to be able to go out and paddleboard and take your tube out and go out, get the boats out, which is a lot nicer.
People are flocking to Lake Tahoe, finding ways to beat the heat.
The lake 6.5 feet higher today than it was back in October, and of course that was before we got all that heavy rain and snow. That means the beaches are a lot smaller than they were a year ago, but people we talk to say they don't mind that much. They'll take the water over the sand.
It's nice to finally be able to go jet skiing again because we've been in that drought, but this year's snow levels, the snowboarding is amazing, and now during the summer you can come down to Lake Tahoe and take a nice swim.
The heat is maximizing the amount of snow melt flowing into the lake. With a little more than 2 inches of room left, the water master is ramping up the amount of water flowing out of the Tahoe City Dam. 3 feet have already passed through this year.
We've released a significant amount. We only had room for 6.5 feet, and we had almost 9.5 feet worth of water come in.
That's 2 feet more than the previous record in 1907.
Definitely incredible. Significantly more than anything we've ever seen in 118 years of record.
It's hard to judge how much more is on the way because there's still so much unmeasured snow in the upper elevations.
The problem is we don't know for sure if there's 2 inches left or if there could be as much as 9 inches left to come.
That's a huge amount of water considering Tahoe's size. Just 4 inches of the lake's surface is enough to fill Boca Reservoir. At this rate, it takes more than 3 days to drain just a quarter of that from Tahoe.
In 24 hours, that much water is only equivalent to a very small amount of water off of the surface of the lake, and that is why it's so difficult to operate Tahoe.
Blanchard says it's hard to say when Tahoe will peak, but he expects things to taper off in the next few weeks. Covering the story at Lake Tahoe, Paul Nelson, Channel 2 News.